Welcome to the Noisy Composer. Now that we've compressed all the tracks, let's go through and EQ the snare. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put a filter on the snare drum. And the reason for that is because when you hit the snare drum, there are these lower frequencies that may be creeping in from other instruments or something that we really don't need. And I want to clear up that low end so there's space for the kick drum and the bass guitar later when we work on that. Go to Effect, and the filter that we want is the high pass tool, the high pass filter. High pass lets the highs pass, so therefore we're cutting the low end. Now what we can do is cut it. So again, before I use this filter, let's take a picture of the frequency spectrum. Okay, so I'll pull this up again and I'm going to take a picture of it. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do is this section here, everything below 100, 150, we'll see. We'll cut this out and we'll kind of slope it down like that. So let me take the high pass filter. We're going to cut it at, let's start at 100 and let's cut that. Okay, and let's analyze it so we can see what happened. Okay, and I'm going to open the one we just took. Okay, so what we have here is that the upper frequencies, the mid frequencies, the low frequencies are untouched. And then right at where we cut it, which was what, 100 hertz? So then that goes down to, oh, this looks like 60, 70, and this one goes much below. So it's a very subtle cut. I'm going to say, let's cut some more. Why not? Why not? So I'm going to undo this high pass filter cut. I'm going to open the high pass filter again, and let's go up higher. Let's go all the way up to 200. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if we cut out too much. We're gonna have to listen to it. Okay, so I'm going to solo it, and we're gonna listen to it. Okay, and then without the pass. So you still hear some of that low end. So cutting it at 200 was a little too much. Okay, let's put the selection back on. Redo pass filter. Okay, let's analyze it. Okay, and then bring this over. Okay, and we could still see we've lost quite a bit of low end now. And the other thing that you notice is that the low end is at 39 dB, and now it's at 44 dB. So we lost three or four decibels of that lowest fundamental. And I think you probably would want that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to undo this. Okay, and let's select it first. Undo the high pass filter, and let's cut it at 170 and see what, 1700. And let's see what this does. Okay, we're going to analyze it. Okay, and the low end is still there, but now we have a much more drastic cut, and it looks even more effective as a low end. Okay, so let's listen to it. Let's do a little A/B here. So I'm going to close this. All right, and so this is, let me see what we got here. Okay, so it's filtered right now. Okay. Good. So we didn't lose any of that low end filter. Okay. And just to double check, it's like, oh, am I in the right one? Let's just look. Ah, there it is. Okay. So this is the filter that we want. Let's listen to it in context now. Okay, good. So we cut out the low end. Now, what about a little bit more of a punch? We can still add more upper frequency just like we did to the bass. In fact, I'm going to leave it. Let's see what this says. Basically what's happening is, so we got rid of the low end because there's nothing underneath that snare that we need. It just gets in the way of the kick drum. It gets in the way of the bass guitar. Now let's bump up the treble portion and let's see if we can get the snare to pop or attack a little bit more through the mix. So I'm going to click OK. We're going to process that. And let's listen to it. Let's solo it first. And we'll do an A-B right now. Okay, that's with the filter. There's a good amount. It's very bright. Okay, and then here's without the filter. It's less pronounced. Let's hear it back and forth. I can close this. Here's without. Okay, with. Have I gone too far? I've gone too far. Redo high pass filter. Redo graphic EQ. Here we go. Big difference. Let's do it one more time. Undo graphic. Almost feels a little muffled. Okay, let's redo graphic. Should be brighter. Okay, in context with everything. Okay, without graphic EQ, in context. Okay, put it back in, redo graphic EQ. Yeah, I think so. I think it sounds much better. A lot more pop or attack on the top of that snare. It really feels nice. Just for fun, let's add a little bit of, I was talking about reverb earlier. Let's add some actual reverb to this snare, just the snare, just for fun. Let's see what happens. I don't know how big this is going to be. Let's do, is there a preset? Yeah, let's do a small room, dark. Yeah. Let's just, for fun, let's see what this sounds like. Okay, I'm going to solo this. Yeah, why not? Okay. Here we go. Everything in here. All right, so had a little bit more fun with compression. A bit of review, a little bit review on EQ, but this time instead of just adding a little brightness, we also learned how to use a high pass filter to cut some of the low end, and then we added a reverb just for fun. Anyways, thank you.